Hey everyone, it's Dylan here with the much requested Matty Beniers updated scouting report. Thanks for being patient with me as I had to wait for a decent sample size of games, well, really footage, in order to put it all together. If you haven't seen my first scouting video on Beniers from before the draft, I've linked it in the description below and highly suggest that you give it a watch, given this video is in some ways an addendum from what we saw from him last year. As a quick heads up, I do use some video of him from last season to contrast his play this season. In those instances, the video will be black and white, like this, to avoid confusion. Alright, let's get to it. You'd be forgiven for not entirely recognizing Matty Beniers on the ice right away. Sure, he's maybe still not the biggest guy around, but his playing style has changed so much. Gone is the player that lacked confidence in his shot, and in comes a guy who looks like he could be a point-per-game player at the next level one day. In fact, the offensive growth he's shown this season is actually pretty remarkable. He knew he had to work on his shot and offensive instincts, and he wanted to focus on that part of his game going back to Michigan this year. He did, and we now see a player who still has quick hands, but now has things like a lethal slap shot and a wrister with a lot more juice. In the offensive zone, he still isn't the guy creating all the chances, but given the loaded team he's on, it doesn't worry me too much. Rather, he's taken his ability to read defensive coverages to the next level, and now places himself in better spots to take shots and score. This is the hallmark of all players that are able to score consistently throughout their careers, and it's a nice tool for him to have. On the power play, we've already seen 3 different looks from him this season. Earlier on, he was playing more in and around the net. While I like his hands in close like this, he still lacks the strength to really screen a goalie or win all the rebound battles, and I think his coaching staff saw this too. That is why they seem to move him into more of a trigger man role. Here, we see him take up the age-old face-off dot one-timer for the win position that has basically become a badge of honor in hockey for guys with great shots and timing. Was it something I thought we'd see from Beniers? No. Am I happy to see it? Oh, you better believe it. But his power play growth wasn't done there, as Michigan also began deploying him high up on the half boards on the other side of the ice. Now, I'm going to give you a second to tell me who this reminds you of. This tells me the coaching staff has even more confidence in him and his offensive smarts. Being in a place to both use his improved wrister or make plays with his passing and vision, it's the perfect embodiment of all the progress he's made offensively, and you'll love to see it. Beniers' passing is still top-notch, and his vision continues to serve it well. That's it. It's just great. Skating-wise, it seems like he might have lost a step. He's still plenty fast, don't get me wrong, but some of the plays we saw him make last year, where he was able to win races clean or get in front of the defense on a breakaway, they're just not quite there anymore. Again, not something to worry about, especially because I think it's probably a product of him filling out and getting stronger, but it is worth noting. Really, the only place I was maybe a little disappointed watching his tape from this season so far was in the defensive zone. One of the things I fell in love with last year was his defensive acumen and his effort level and high motor. This season, he looks to be trying a tad bit too much. Before, he looked to be playing off his instincts and natural talent for seeing where the other team was going to go. This season, however, it looks like he's either taking a moment to process what he's seeing and is thus a second too slow, or trying too hard to anticipate. He's going to the most likely place a play will happen, often in front of the net, rather than picking up the open man or reading who is open and what his assignment should be. It's a much more conservative approach, and while it has merit, it's something you want more of your poor defensive forwards to do rather than your instinctively high-end guys. In other words, why box yourself up for the same level of defense as a lot of other players? That said, again, I'm not too worried about this, as I think it's strictly a matter of watching a player trying to improve their game and grow, just failing to recognize that this was already an area of his game that was at an elite level. I would think that the Kraken coaching staff could get him to get out of his own head a little bit and have him go back to being the top-tier two-way center we saw last year. Overall, there's so much to be excited about when talking about the first pick in Kraken franchise history. Beniers' dedication to improving his game and his ability to pay near immediate dividends off that work is a quality that so few players have. I grew up hearing the stories of superstars like Sidney Crosby, Jonathan Toews, and Steven Stamkos, and how they'd focus on one aspect of their game during the offseason and show up the following season as one of the best at that particular skill. And we're seeing the same thing here with Matty Beniers, and the work he's putting into his shot and the offensive zone presence he now has. Seattle got a good one, and I think we're gonna all see that really soon. Hey, thanks for watching to the end. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and let me know down below in the comments, do you think we'll see Beniers with the Kraken after Michigan's season is over?